Chukwudi, what exactly is your work? 2 years, you have sold phone, you have sold car, you have sold shoes, and now you are selling furniture. What exactly is your work? Now, are you like Chukwudi, that you have been selling different kind of things? I understand. I'm sure it's because you are trying to make ends meet. Country hard. That is one of the reasons why in the next 100 days, I'm going to be showing you a better way of doing this thing. How you can find purpose, how you can stay and focus on a business and build it and become a huge name. I'm going to be teaching you how to build a successful business. And even if you decide that you want to go online and you want to diversify, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it. And also I'm going to be fixing that mindset of yours that has been taking you pure. Join me on this 100-day journey. It's absolutely free. Titled Mind and Money. I am going to be teaching you skills that will help you transform not just your mind but also your pocket. Click on the link below to get registered. See you there. You know say too much garri dey cause alcohol, and you know say this your garri wey you dey take na because of Satan. Now let me show you how you can increase your income. Let me show you ways like stop drinking garri every single day. There are other types of food. There's rice, there's beans, there's chicken, there's so many other things. But you cannot afford those things if you rely on only one source of income, which is your salary. In the next 100 days, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can make money both from cryptocurrency, forex, and from owning a business. And that is not just all. I'll be adding a bonus on teaching you life skills, how to get out of depression, how to handle breakup, and how to live a best life. If you are interested in turning finance around, click on the link below. Join me on this transformative journey. It is absolutely free. Stop drinking garri every time. Because I said it's free doesn't mean that the link is going to remain open forever. Get on the board. I'll see you then. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you guys doing? Are we ready for week 5? Week 4, right? Sorry. Week 4, week 5. Man, I mean, 30 days has come and gone. And 29 days have come and gone, and today is day 30, right? I am very happy that we are here again. And it shows that we are going small, gradually by gradually, right? Okay, so welcome to another episode of Business Therapy. And today we are going to be looking at a very important topic, boss or bully. Now, you know, this topic is a topic that a lot of people are thinking, should I listen to this? Should I not? I'm not in any leadership position in the office. You know, that if you are working in any place, right, you are either a leader there or you are a subordinate, right? And being a leader means you could exhibit different styles of leadership. And in the course of exhibiting your different styles of leadership, there is a high tendency that you are going to be either a good leader or a wicked leader. So there's a high chance that you could unknowingly be a wicked boss and not know. Right? So that's one of the reasons why we are looking at it. Then also for the employee, now you are working at a place, or the subordinate, they're working at a place and there's always rift, there's always rancor, there's always issues with you and your boss and all of that. Now, why we need to address this is because, remember, this is mind and money. So the place you are working presently, whether as a manager or just an ordinary staff, that is where you make your primary source of money. Now, the behavior of your leader would affect your mind, which will in turn affect productivity. So, you need to ensure that your head is in the game. And that's one of the reasons why we are looking at this. Now, remember we talked about, if you have been following all our trainings, remember we talked about experience. And I said experience is what you've learned from where you've worked. And yesterday when we were looking at growth secrets, we said experience is not enough. until you've learned from it, right? So following that, it means that if you are in a place where the leadership style is almost, is kwechiri, do you understand? It will be difficult for you to learn. But how can you learn even in such condition? So that's the idea of this topic, right? So we are just going to go straight into the matter at hand. Who is a boss? Who is a boss? Right? Very simple. Who is a boss? So in simple English, a boss is anybody in any leadership position in a corporate setting, in an office, or in a business. So anyone that is in a leadership position is a boss. So we say a boss is someone that holds a position of authority or leadership within an organization, right? And their work majorly is to ensure that other people do their work, right? So they oversee and they manage the work of others. So that is why the boss attitude, or the attitude of the boss, is most likely going to affect the organizational performance, right? So the boss is responsible for directing, providing guidance, providing support, and majorly helping the team to achieve the goals of the company, right? And they have to do that in a respectful manner. We are in Nigeria, right? So most times it's easy. You know the way our leaders lead us, right? They lead us like Agway, lead us like Agway. So it's easy for a leader to easily, or a leader can easily start becoming domineering, because we have this military mindset. Like we have been ruled by the military, and even though we transitioned into democracy, we still have this mentality of soldier. Right? You still have this mentality that Namibi Oga, right? So you can do whatever you like. I have a friend that was complaining about where she works, and she was telling me that everybody there is, if you just senior somebody small in rank, if they are going out for meetings, you see even somebody will never reach anywhere, we give somebody, hold my bag for me, hey driver, come and go and drop me, and just one small power you get. After you be complaining Buhari, you will complain Tinubu, you will complain senator, you will complain House of Rep. They give you small accountant in office. You are carrying PA to carry your file. Right? So now we are going to be looking at it. So a boss typically is someone that exhibits what? Leadership qualities. Being in the position of a leader, obviously. Now, if a boss, right, if a leader doesn't know how to function in the position of a leader, there is a high tendency that he can become a bully. He can start, especially in Nigeria, you find that he can start becoming aggressive, abusive, intimidating, thunder fire you, God punish you, yala bros. And they can go from every form. They can go from verbal abuse to threats. If you do now, I will sack you. Nothing. There are a lot. So we are going to be looking at the characteristics. And the essence of saying this thing is that the essence of doing this is so you understand that if you are managing an organization, your attitude as the leader will determine the productivity of your people to a very large extent. It will determine the atmosphere of work. Right? So let's just go straight, right? What are the characteristics of a boss? First, a boss will always be visionary. He will be visionary and decisive. He's visionary and decisive. That's it. He demonstrates leadership quality. He's visionary and decisive. Number two, he can communicate effectively. Their communications are not beclouded. Their communications are clear, effective. Right? A boss can communicate effectively. So, be using this to judge yourself. Be using this to judge yourself. A boss can communicate what? Effectively. Number next, respect. He shows respect. He's respectful. Respectful. So he's not always trying to trample on. You see, there are some people that, because they are guys, if you see the way they talk to security men, and you'll be like, Omo, when all of us die, it's still one grand, all of us we enter. Treat employees with some form of respect. Foster a culture of mutual respect. That means you are not telling people to respect you because you senior them, but you have built a culture where everybody respects everybody. That's a boss. Empathy. Number 4. A good boss will always empathize. He will show empathy with his employees or with his subordinates. That means you are listening to their concerns, you are listening to their perspective, you are understanding their challenges. Right? And you are offering assistance when needed. Number 5, fairness. A boss should be fair as possible. It's not that it should not be, it's not black or it's not fair in color. Like, he should be impartial. It should not be partial. It shouldn't be partial. So if you are partial, you should start checking this. Every of your staff or subordinates should be treated with equity. No favoritism. If there is a punishment and there's a kind of behavior you exhibit as a leader, the staffs will feel if it's this person that do it, he can get away with it. Right? So long as you have policies in the company, your job as a leader is to ensure that these policies are followed truly. Now, what about a bully, a wicked boss? Number 1, always aggressive. Always aggressive, always intimidating. Uses threats to assert power and control. And most times it may resort to verbal abuse, even physical abuse. Right? So if you are in the habit of, idiot, come on, get out of there, thunder fire you. Your staff, well done. Well done. Number 2, manipulative. Manipulative. You are manipulating situations, you are manipulating information to your advantage. Spreading rumors, lies, and the rest of them. Funny enough, people do this stuff. And these are the things that can cripple. These are the things that can cripple an organization. Now, boss is not that you are the head of the company. If you have any if you are in any position where there are people that are answerable to you, then you are a boss. Boss is not CEO. Mm-mm. If you are in any position that there are people answerable to you, then you are a boss. And there is a high tendency that you could be a very wicked one, especially if you are a strong African. Do you know how old I am? That I not blame you now. It's because me and you are in this office. If not, if you see me outside, can you? Now do the cams. Huh? Do the cams. Do the cams. Calm down. Right? So, hostility. Very hostile. When they are coming like in Daboski. Dun, dun, dun. You know, they are coming with, with wrestling swag. As they come, everybody fancy. Why? Because they bring fear, tension. They make, you can just feel very unwelcome. They just carry this aura of hostility. They lack empathy. Any eye they do you, they don't send you. They show little regard for your feeling. Very little regard. They lack empathy. They could just use something that you've told them before and use it to just knock you straight. Lack of empathy. Right? And they will always use power. They will always use power. And you know what power is? It's like physical power. This type of boss that will tell you, say, if you try me, we will go outside. It's not because I'm wearing suit and tie. I will mess you up. So this is just general, characteristics of either bosses and bullies. A common sign that you are a bully. A common sign. Common signs, not a common sign. Some of the common signs that you are a bully. Number one, you resort to verbal abuse. You belittle people. You give derogatory remarks, verbal attacks, including insults. You are intimidating. You intimidate people. You instill fear. Right? No matter what people do, you undermine their efforts. You are always looking to discredit people for what they've done. Right? You make unreasonable demands. Now, there's a story in the Bible that talks about, what do you call it now? Bricks without straws. Bricks without straw. Now, the children of Israel, very funny story. The children of Israel were building and they were expanding, although they were still doing laborer work for Egyptians. So they were doing that. Then all of a sudden, Pharaoh now decided these guys are growing too much. Increase the pressure. Press them. Press their neck. So now decided, okay, so what will we do now is that we will require them to still make bricks. In fact, they will make more bricks, but we will reduce the number of straw. In fact, we will not even give them straw. So they were supposed to make bricks without straws. Now, what does that mean? You expect your people to deliver, and you don't give them tools to work. And at the end of the day, you blame them for not delivering. So how do you do that? We need this machine to get this work done. The machine is your duty to provide it. You've not provided the machine. And somehow, because you gave them a job that requires the machine, you somehow expect that they will still somehow do the work. You are a bully. You are a bully. When you start making unreasonable demands, start setting unrealistic expectations. You put undue pressure. If you are in the habit of using threats, I will sack you. I will report you to Oga. I will sack you. If you are in the habit of using threats, you could be a bully. It could be explicit threats, it could be implicit threats. It could be threats that I go beat you if I catch you for aside. If you try this thing, she no worry. It could be threats like that. Right? So you must make sure that you are not in any of this. Or you don't exhibit any of these traits. Right? So, distinguishing between a good boss and a bad boss is very simple. It's very, very simple. Now, I'm going to give a very quick, very short breakdown. Please follow me, right? I'm not in a haste today because this is not what I will shout. This is what I will teach. Learn it. You can switch from being a bad boss, a wicked boss, to being a good boss. You can switch from being a bully to being a boss. One way to do that, instead of using intimidation, use motivation. How to switch from being a bully to being a boss? Number one, switch from intimidation to motivation. Don't intimidate your team. Don't intimidate other people. Motivate them instead. Don't control them, guide them. Switch from intimidation to motivation. Switch from control to guidance. Switch from insults and shouts to listening and respect. Switch from shouting and insulting to listening and respecting others. Right? Now, also, switch from making decisions without anybody's input. That's from imposing your idea on people, considering the input of your team members. Switch from what? Imposing your ideas or your choices towards considering input from your team. Number 4, switch from harsh criticism. Switch from harsh criticism to constructive criticism. Now, what does that mean? When you criticize a job, don't criticize. Which kind of nonsense you go through like this? Hey, can you imagine? No. Why not be constructive? That this thing would have been better done like this, like this, like this. Because this way, I don't think, be constructive. So if you say this is bad, why do you think it's bad? How can it be done better? That's being constructive. Switch from escalating problems to seeking peaceful solution. Seek from escalating problems to seeking peaceful solutions. Right? Switch from escalating problems to what? Seeking peaceful solutions. Also, switch from lack of empathy to showing genuine care. Genuine care. If your staff say they are not feeling fine, at least ask after their health. Even though you know that, yes, you are supposed to take permission or whatever it is that they were supposed to do that they did not do. But it's health. Now, person with their life, they work. Show some form of empathy. Right? It's not, I mean, that one did not concern me. If you want to die, you can go and die. I've had people say this thing. I've had people say it. Leaders, I've had leaders of organizations tell their staff, if you want to die, you can go and die. Very sad. Switch from blaming other people to taking responsibility. Stop blaming others. You are in a position of leadership, and the duty that should be done in your team was not done. Then when you are answering to your leader, instead of taking responsibility, you are casting blames. You are never accountable. You avoid accountability. Switch from blaming others towards taking responsibility. Switch from having a negative atmosphere, from creating, not having now, because you are the one creating it. Switch from creating a negative atmosphere to creating a positive atmosphere. Now, these things are very important. And you know, funny enough, these things can be learned. From one of my friends, I just noticed every Friday, there's always fun in this guy's office. And I just looked at it. This would help in building team bonding. And I decided, okay, I will incorporate that. So we made Fridays game day. From 3 o'clock, we start playing games. We copied it. Yes. Learn the right things. Learn it. Learn the right things. Okay? So, finally, switch from disrespect to treating people with respect. Switch from disrespect to treating people with respect. Now, if you don't know why you need to do this, let me explain why. Being a wicked boss will affect employee performance and productivity. It will affect your employees' performance and productivity because their morale will always be low. There is reduced ginger to do the work. And before you know what's happening, when people cannot take, when people feel they are unappreciated or mistreated, they will resign, they will leave the work for you. Straight. Right? So you need to understand that this will reduce, it will have huge impact on productivity. There's going to be a lot of incomplete tasks because there is poor communication. Employees will not be motivated to use their brain. They will not be motivated to think of new ideas. Then there will always be constant criticism. Always be constant criticism. This will not help you in any way, right? And as an employee, if you are as a subordinate, how do you still cope in an environment where you have a wicked boss? One, you must understand their perspective. See, there's nobody that cannot be worked with. Most times, some people are not wicked because we need to create a balance. Some of those bosses are just undergoing stress and insecurity from their own bosses or from another place that you are not aware of. So you need to be able to understand their perspective. When you notice that this is the kind of person my boss is, you should be able to maintain a certain kind of respectful communication. Very diplomatic. Avoid confrontation. If you have a bully as a boss, avoid confrontation. Right? Be very flexible. That means you must be able to adapt to any ginger the man carry and come to work that day. Let your strategies and priorities align with his expectations. You must learn to manage or work with a boss, no matter how seemingly wicked you think he is. Be adaptable. Take initiative. Take initiative. Instead of waiting for the boss to come to you, take initiative of asking for clarifications, giving him progress on accomplishments and everything. Just take the initiative. Take the initiative of managing the relationship by yourself. Because there is high tendency that if he has to come down to you, you will collect. Next, focus on results, not efforts. Focus on results. Deliver high quality results. If you are given a deadline, try to meet it. No matter how your boss behaves, try to meet it. Stay professional. Stay very professional. Stay very professional. Then also you must learn to now set boundaries between your work and your personal life. So you know that if I'm in the office, I'm working. If I'm outside the office, take care of yourself. Because if you allow that pressure follow you from, it could cause you a lot of problems. Then ensure you never stop learning. Never stop learning. So if you do all these things, it would be easy for you. Right? Now, one of the things I want us to understand is this. When you have the opportunity to lead people, leading people is not children's play. I entered a vehicle one day and the driver said that I prefer to carry goats than to pack human beings because human beings have problems. And that's the truth. So as a leader, you must first understand that, people have problems, individual problems. You must empathize with them, show empathy. Show empathy, very, very important. As much as possible, try not to talk down on people just because you pay them. Don't do that. I see people, young boys and young girls, talk down on somebody because he's cleaner. Somebody that is older than your father, because he's the security, you talk down on him. Sure, you don't want to live long, ni? Right? You need to get your head straight. Show respect to people because they deserve to be respected, because they are human beings. I had a staff one day that was telling another person, how old are you, Seth? I said, don't try it. Don't dare it. You don't respect people because you are older. You respect people because they deserve to be respected, whether you are the boss or you are not. This mindset of that we are Nigerians, so I can talk to you anyhow. No, you can't talk to anybody anyhow. We generation that would rather sit at home than would just even be spoken to anyhow. I had a young boy, 17, I'll be 18 years, that came here to do internship. And I've told this young man, before you go home every time, make sure you empty the trash and make sure you turn off the computers. Then this boy kept continuously leaving it on. Then one weekend I came to the office and I left. The lights were on, the computers were on, and the trash was filled. And I called the young man on Monday. I said, how would you do this? With how many times I've told you, yet you did this thing. The guy said he was sorry and the rest of them. I came back that evening, I went out and I came back and he dropped the key. He said, I don't think I can learn again. And he left. Now, that's the kind of, and this young man went home to be doing nothing. As at the last time I checked. So we have a generation of people that really don't care how they eat. The young boys think Yahoo is a way out. The young girls think to date a Yahoo boy is the way out. So they don't care. So any small talk you talk, they will tell you, is it how much you are paying me that will make you talk to me anyhow? They have a sense of entitlement. Now, as a boss, you must learn to understand the kind of people that are being employed. The people coming out of university now, I don't know the kind of breed they are. But you must apply a different level of wisdom if you are to get any form of productivity from them. And as a young person that is just coming out from school, that has this 21st century mentality, you must learn. You must understand that there is a difference there is a generational difference between you and your most likely your boss. You must understand that there is a generational difference. So and those guys would expect you to show respect, not just because you are working there, but because you are a bloody African. And as Africans, respect is one thing we carry. Don't say because you are in one small position, they gave you MD, they gave you manager, they gave you team lead, they gave you something. Then you feel you can talk to anybody anyhow. Because this guy is driver, you talk to him anyhow. His children can senior you. These things will set you free. These things will set you free. Sometimes you don't know where your problem is coming from. Trust me. You have no idea where your problem is coming from. So please, and please, and please, being a wicked boss would not add anything to you. If for nothing, it is going to reduce productivity. It is going to reduce the team morale. It is going to reduce the atmosphere. It is going to dampen the atmosphere in the office. It will drop the morale. So you should try and understand people. Understand people. You must learn to be a people person so you can make maximum use of people. See, if you've not learned how to use people to work, you can't go far. A wise man said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. If you've not learned how to work with people, you will never go far. I'll repeat it. If you've not learned how to stop being a bully, you will never go far. If you want to go far, you must learn to work with people. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. Right? So please, the whole essence of this is to let you understand that in our pursuit for multiple income streams, there is a high tendency that you may stumble or you may start a side hustle. If the side hustle starts paying, there's a high tendency you will need to work with people. If you start an e-commerce store, before you know what's happening, if it starts doing well, before you know, you may need a customer service. Before you know, you may need a delivery guy. Before you know, and before you know, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people working under you. It's very easy. But one of the things you must understand is that if you must work with people, then you must learn to be a boss and not a bully. We have already established that you cannot survive in Nigeria with one stream of income. It's not possible. So if you have a paid job, if you have a job where you earn salary from, and you need a side hustle that would, that would augment your income. Of course, if you have a paid job, there will be need for you to have somebody that will be overseeing it for you, or that will be working in some form of this thing, capacity for you. So your work will now be to oversee, and before you know, you are now a boss to somebody. So you must learn how to relate with people. If you must build wealth, let me tell you something. One of the reasons why this topic is important, you cannot build wealth without OPM and OPT. You cannot build wealth without what? OPM and OPT. What is OPM? Other people's money. What is OPT? Other people's time. You must learn it. If you must build wealth, you must learn to work with other people's time. You must leverage on people. Very important. Not use people, but leverage on people. We have a very bad scenario now where instead of using things, we use people. We now use people. And we appreciate things instead of to use things and appreciate people. Very bad. Learn to value people for who they are. If you must move from where you are presently to your next level, learn to value people. Whether you are a boss or not, learn to value people. Start with your help in the house help. Start with your gate man. Start with the security guy. Start with the driver. Learn to be polite. Learn to be polite. Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you. Learn to use those words. Even if it's your staff or if it's somebody that you're subordinate that you say, help me do this thing. You will not die if you say thank you. You will not die. You can never ever die if you say thank you. Learn to say thank you. Learn to use, please. I'm going to stop here for today. I want to believe you've gained some form of value, right? So tomorrow we are going to be looking at the crypto diary. And one of the topic we are going to be looking at tomorrow is the national blockchain policy, decoding the national blockchain policy. Now, why this topic is very important is because the new government, in their bid to stabilize the dollar, are doing almost everything wrong. And one of the most recent one is going after crypto exchanges, right? And they think that this is the problem, but this is not. So we are going to examine the national blockchain policy. What rights does it give and how we can take better advantage of these things, right? So tomorrow by 7 p.m., I'll be here looking at the national blockchain policy and how best we can maximize the information that is contained therein, right? So that is where we draw the curtain for tonight. So please make it a date with us tomorrow, and I promise you it is also going to be still very packed with value. If you gained anything tonight, please let me see you. Drop a comment on the comment section, like the video, share it with your friends. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.